Sal. Thank you so much. I know this is like the middle of a work day.
Yeah.
You're running one of like the country's largest supplement companies, like the world's biggest supplement company, really. Like you guys are fucking crushing it, and you took an hour out of your day to like sit down with me. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
I wanted to, dude, I really want to start maybe a weird place for an interview, or just I always look at these as conversations at the end of the day, but I want to talk about death first, because like that's a heavy topic that you talk about it often. And it really resonates with me because like this is something I never really talked about a lot, but whenever I was a kid, there was some times where I would lay awake at night just deeply afraid of death, like just so scared of death. And one of the key thoughts that would always go in my mind is like, I don't want to be forgotten and just go away into like oblivion. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like nobody knows who you are, nobody remembers you. I can remember thinking like, I want a fucking, and it's weird to even say out loud because I've never really talked about it, but like I want a fucking statue after me. You know what I mean? Like those were the kind of thoughts that I had, and like being older now and having some perspective, like I don't fear death anymore like I did whenever I was a kid. But it's a very heavy concept that I don't think a lot of people really address, but it's something that you talk about on a very regular basis.
Yeah, and I think it, running from your fears, right, or addressing them.
Yeah.
And when I look at death, we're all going to die.
Right.
So you got to understand that. It's a harsh reality of truth. And so we're here for a limited amount of time, and I think all too often people treat their lives as we have this infinite run.
Yeah.
And the truth is we don't.
Right.
And so when you start to really accept that that's a real possibility, and you don't know when your time is to be called, you start to really think about your obligation to the opportunity that we have. And for me, I didn't really start living life for the most part until I had kids. And you start to really start wrapping your head around, why am I here? How do I leave this place better than I found it? How do I make an impact on this world that will last when I'm in the ground? And you can do that, and it's like planting trees.
Yeah.
And when I looked at my kids, I thought like my job is to develop these kids into being who I want them to be, or to be value adds to the world. And then I started thinking about the opportunity I have as a leader. It took me to have kids to understand that that's my opportunity to the world every day when I walk into the office. And my guys think it's weird because I talk about death pretty regularly, and they're like, "Oh, here he goes again," and it's kind of like a joking topic. But I think as they'll mature, they'll learn. Is when I look at my guys, my people here, I think, what are the stories that they're going to tell about me, and how can I impact their lives so that they value me? And the story that I often tell is my dad was in business young, and he got into business, and my dad's always about helping other people, and especially small entrepreneurs, when he was in business. And so when we were going through Home Depot one day, this is probably 3 years ago, I was with my dad, and I was with my son Enzo, and this guy said hi to my dad and came over and introduced himself, and he said, "Hey, look me in the eyes," and he said, "Because your daddy put me in business, and now I employ a couple hundred people. Dad was always the best guy to me. He helped me develop my business to what it is today." And I look at it now, because of my dad and his obligation to these people now have a job. And this guy said this message to me that deeply rooted inside of me. Like I can feel it manifest itself even now as I talk about it, on how important that message was to me, for me to hear that. And I instantly turned and thought, that's my obligation to my kids. My obligation to my kids is to create an environment where I do so good for these people, and I lead and I help them develop their lives, so that when I'm gone, they tell stories to my kids about how I helped them.
Yeah.
And I think when you start talking about legacy and like, what does it mean? And everybody's talking, I want the life, to go on after I die. Well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And the only way you can really do that is connect with people. You know what I mean? Like
right.
you got to care about them. It's not alone. It's how do you value and how do you help them? And how do you help them live a better life than they're living now? And they attribute that to you. And I'm in the perfect business to do it. We're in the fitness business where I speak fat. I know what it's like to be fat.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to be fit. And I know the journey that it takes. And so my obligation is to take that journey and share it with people to help them transform their lives so that I can help them be a better dad, a better mother, brother, sister, father, son, whatever that case may be.
Yeah.
And so that when I die, there's people from all over the world. And I always say, like, if the line is from here to China, it's not long enough because it means I left some people on the ride, right? So
yeah.
so that when I die, my kids can have that same experience of Home Depot, if you will, where they're out in my community, the community that I've impacted and helped build. I'm not the sole proprietor there building that. It's a team of us, right?
Yeah.
But my message and leadership and values that hopefully I've instilled to these people will carry back to my children.
Right.
So that's my driving message.
Yeah, and I think what's so powerful about that is like you're living your life and you're taking action. I feel like a lot of parents, they feel like once they have kids, their life is immediately over. And
loser mentality.
Yeah, like everything's about them now. Like
Yeah.
like they put their whole life on hold strictly for their kids, and they teach their kids to settle.
Yeah.
And they don't show them they don't show them living their lives, if that makes sense.
Of course.
Like showing them look, man, like this is what life can be. Like I'm fucking kicking ass. I'm meeting people. I'm changing lives. They stop living as soon as they have kids, and they set a bad example, and then they expect the kid to actually go do better than them in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's fear, right?
Yeah.
Fear is the controller. What I've learned from, by nature we're emotional beings, and when you look at fear as the emotion, they're scared to get vulnerable with their kids, and they're scared because it's going to show a sign of weakness as a parent of maybe, like they're going to see through me, and I think being a parent, and I don't have I'm not Mr. Manning, right? I don't have two sons in the NFL, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Like,
right.
I'm still new into the process, but I think, what I would like to aspire to be is a very vulnerable parent and understanding, like, hey, listen, like, if I'm going to expect them to get uncomfortable and grow, I have to show them that I'm going to get uncomfortable and grow, which means I have to put myself as a priority. My life, I still have a lot of life to live, and they're sponges, and they're going to watch that grow and manifest. And so that means I got to get vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
I got to untap myself and teach them and show them what it takes to get uncomfortable, to get the life that you want, to live the life that you want. And just like speaking fat to somebody who's going through a fit journey, I can look at my children in those times when they're struggling and when they're fearful to get uncomfortable, and I say, hey, listen, like, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me hold your hand, let me get uncomfortable with you, and I'm gonna walk you down that journey. And sometimes you gotta kick them out and let them go on their own, but you can't teach somebody something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Right.
And it's the irony of fitness journey for me is, which can relate back to being a dad, is I used to tell myself all the time, like, I'm never going to run a half marathon. Well, as soon as I'm done with sports, I'm never going to run. I hate running. Running's punishment. And I learned that in order to be the person that you want to be, you have to learn to embrace the things you hate to do.
Yes.
And learn something about yourself in that process. So I started running.
Yeah.
And then I did a half marathon. And I remember the whole time when I was running the half marathon, I did it in 30 days. I said, hey, for my 35th birthday, I'm going to run a half marathon. I got all these guys to run with me. And I remember crossing the finish line, I got emotional. And I'm pretty stone-faced, especially in like sports, right? Like to win or lose mentality.
Yeah.
But I had accomplished something that I told myself I would never do.
Right.
And it was an opening for me, is that, I was really proud of myself. It taught me, like, okay, all these things that I never said I'd never do, maybe those are the things I should start doing.
Yeah.
And see if I can drive the same response, that of accomplishment and fulfillment through holes that I said I'd never go down. And then I started doing triathlons. I bought a bike, and then I started wearing all those goofy outfits and big helmets and sunglasses. And before long, I'm like running in this stupid ass suit, like, and those lessons that I've learned is that by becoming very vulnerable and getting open and honest, like, hey, how do I know I don't like something unless I go try it?
Right.
And so that message that you can resonate back to your kids is, you got to live your life, which means you got to get out there and get after it.
100%. And I think one the things in that story there is like you embraced like the suck. Like,
oh yeah.
Like everybody wants to take the path of least resistance. It's human nature.
By nature.
Right? Like, we want to do whatever is easiest.
That's right.
And over time, like, we'll start a program or whatever the case may be, and then it might start off hard, and then it gets easier, right? Because
the new norm.
You adapt and you develop. You got to keep making things hard again.
That's right.
Right. You can't just sit there in one place and expect things to like get better without you actually pushing, the envelope.
That's right.
Right. So, whenever you're like, you're doing a half marathon or you're doing, the half Ironman, right? Like That's some shit you never thought you'd be doing.
No, it's 250 pounds, man. I'm like a big water buffalo out there.
Are you having the conversation with yourself like, why the fuck am I doing
Every
this?
fucking step.
Like,
every step.
I hate this.
Dude, that's the one thing that running taught me. You know, it's like, and I'm not a runner. Like, you know what I mean? Look at me. I'm not an avid runner. I'm still the guy, like, I'll say, oh, I'm going to run 5 miles a day. By about 100 yards, I'm trying to talk myself into, let's just run a mile today.
Yeah.
Right? And I think what running has taught me is it's very linear with life. Is, you know, you'll talk yourself into this great idea, but following through with the great idea is a whole different fucking animal.
Way different animal.
You know, and so it's one step at a time, and I use the analogy all the time. It's left foot, right foot. And I use this because of running. In order to win the war on life, each battle is a step.
Yeah.
Left foot, right. You got to keep moving.
Right.
You know, and that's the game. And when you really look at running, at about yard 200, you're talking yourself out of it. At mile 1, you're trying to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
At mile 3, you magically come up with a cramp and, oh, my hip hurts or my foot hurts, right?
Right.
And that's life. That's business. You're going to get obstacles and you're going to have conversations. You're going to have great days. You're going to have bad days. There's going to fucking be things that just get thrown in your way.
Yeah.
You got to keep moving.
Right.
You know, and running from a mental training perspective for life taught me you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's where everybody gets caught up in success, right? Like success is it's fluid because it's different for everybody. Like,
right.
You ask anybody, what is successful? To some guy, it's $1 million. To some guys, it's a happy family. To some guy, he wants a car. Like, it's so different for everybody. But the journey of life is not how fast did you get there. It's whether you got there or not.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, running's the same. Like, nobody ever asks me, oh, what's your half marathon time? Or what's your half Ironman time? It's simply, oh, you did one? Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Just like life. You know, you look at our business, like, nobody cares if you're rich by your, 31.
Right.
You don't care if you're rich or not, right? Like,
That's true.
In that sense. So, you just got to realize you don't have to, not everything's a sprint.
Yeah.
You just got to saddle in and embrace the suck. It's going to suck. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. But the fucking goal is to keep fucking moving.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah.
those are the difference between the successful people and the people who never fucking get there.
Yeah, oftentimes people will let the big picture just slow them down. They'll get
Oh, yeah.
overwhelmed. They won't just take a step.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That journey's scary, man.
Dude, it's some scary shit.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's totally worth it.
I mean, dude, we're going through one of those transitions in business right now where, we have a great business and we have a great group of guys. I'd like to think we have a great leadership team. We have a great community. Our customers, like, our fucking business is really cool.
Without a doubt.
But we got a long way to go. And a lot of people would settle in and say, okay, well, we're doing well. But well to us is like, all right, we got to get to $1 billion, all right? And then when we get to $1 billion, the secret to success is, all right, how do you get to 10 billion?
Yeah.
Like, what is the movement? Well, sitting back and reading our stories and like talking about how successful we are, it doesn't do anything. We still got to go left foot, right foot, and get the fuck after it.
Right.
And so, can it be overwhelming? Yeah. If your goals are not overwhelming, your goals are too small.
Yeah, they really are.
You got to think bigger. They should scare the shit out of you.
It should make you uncomfortable to tell other people.
Without a doubt. I mean, I can tell you right now, in my life right now, from a financial perspective, I'm more successful than I've ever been. From a relationship perspective, I'm more successful than I've ever been. My life, from the outside perspective, I would say that it's more successful than it's ever been. I can tell you the last 10 or 14 days of my life have been the hardest 10 or 14 days because this $1 billion and the roadmap that we're unfolding to get to there and all of the things that are compounding, the step 1, 2, I'm at 100 yards in this new plant. The negative thoughts are coming in. Can we do it? Can we not do it? And it starts stressing you and thinking. And then I wake up and even this morning, all right, I'm in the right spot. Because it scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. That's a good realization, right? When you can take a step out of that feeling and be like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
That's right.
Like, I am on the path. And I actually did that probably a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, I have so much joy right now. Like, I'm super scared about everything. I'm very uncertain, but for whatever reason, like right now I know this is where I'm supposed to be.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a very reassuring feeling.
But you can only get to that point when it's the new norm. Okay,
Yeah.
so like when you understand the new norm, you've been in that uncomfortable place enough times to understand that success is beyond that boundary, and so you have to, now I've been saying this for years, it's funny now it's like mainstream, you have to be really, comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, which is funny now, that transition for swimming for me, when I did my first half Ironman, like swimming, dude, I don't fucking,
Dude, that shit sucks.
it
Man.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Fucking, I panic in the water, it scares the fuck out of me. And, I'm not built to swim. I've never swam, and so I'm going to go swim a mile, right? And I was like, fuck. So I go out and have my first open water swim. Guy kicks my goggles off, comes up. I'm only 100 yards into the swim. The water's cold. I'll never forget it. And I instantly started thinking about all the excuses for me to get out of the water.
Yeah.
I gotta get the fuck out of this water. And I started thinking, dude, my friends are gonna make so much fucking fun of me if I come out of this water. So I started giving the excuses on the story on why. I started telling myself why I should quit.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, no, you gotta stick your face back in that fucking water and start swimming. Like, and I don't care if you go to the next buoy, but just get to that buoy.
Yeah.
And it's that swim lesson has taught me a lot about life. Is you got to be real uncomfortable when it's real fucking nervous and you're real fucking cold and you're real fucking scared. You're in the right spot. Keep moving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stick your face back in the water and keep fucking
Just
stroking.
keep fucking stroking.
That's right.
And that's the time where like you have to be honest with yourself, right?
That's right.
I mean,
Self-realization.
yeah, like how important is honesty for this whole process?
Honesty is the single best key that I've learned in life.
Yeah.
The single best key. And I think from a leadership perspective, from a relationship perspective, from a social media perspective, transparency has spawned me into being a better man. And I come from a background where, you know, I mean, let's be real, in college, like I was not the ideal husband. You know what I mean? I was always telling a white lie, always on the move, always on the
You're a
hustle.
young man.
Yeah.
You're confident and optimistic.
Yeah, I was very confident and very optimistic, and you know, it was a life full of lies, right? And I was always getting, you know, tripped up over my own lies, and you're kind of like living a lie.
Yeah.
And I remember, and I attribute this greatly to my marriage now, because I have an unbelievable wife, and I said, you know what, I'm going to be completely honest, like the whole time, like, and I'm just going to fucking ride this thing out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell her what I think. I'm going to let her tell me what she thinks, and we're going to build a foundation off of honesty. And I have a great marriage. I have a great relationship. My wife and I couldn't speak more words about my wife, and it's built off of honesty. And I transitioned that into different parts of my life, and really looking in the mirror, you know, being honest with myself. That's a lesson I try to teach my guys all the time. Is you know the difference between right and wrong. And if you can look yourself in the eyeballs in the mirror and you can lie to yourself, you can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know the truth.
You know the truth. You can say the words.
You can say, and if you look yourself in the fucking eyeballs, you know the difference between right and wrong.
Yeah.
And being honest with oneself is how you correct that.
Yeah.
You can't just throw the problem off in the corner and hope it goes away. You got to address the issue. If you're fat, right? This is what I had the self-realization. I'm not fat because I'm busy. I'm not fat because I have a lot going on. I'm fat because I make poor decisions in my life that cause me to be fat. And I can blame this, and this goes back, it's kind of funny with a conversation pre-recording. I used to ask myself the question, when I die, I'm going to ask God this question. God, why'd you give me the fat gene? That's what people, you know, like, oh, you get the fat gene.
Yeah.
And I realized, after having become honest with myself, is that that's the best gift he ever gave me.
Right.
And he gave me that gift because I'm in the fitness business and I have the opportunity to impact people by telling and relating to them that, hey, listen, like I have that fat gene too, but it's not an excuse.
Right.
And you have to be willing to pay the price and do the work and follow a game plan to success. And if you do that, you will win. And the thing is what's cool about the fitness business and that lesson about, you know, being gifted as being fat is I can relate to those people. I can help impact their lives. I can help them be better fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, because I've been through that journey myself. And what comes out of it is how we started the conversation is the legacy, because as I impact these people's lives and help them become better mothers, brothers, fathers, sisters, sons, I'm part of their process in changing their life, which on the outside looks like a physical change, but really it's giving them the keys to their life back from a mental perspective.
Yeah, it really all starts with the mind.
Always.
Yeah, if you have to cough, dude, don't worry about it.
No, you're good.
I'm
getting the feedback in the breathing. I feel like I'm a walrus on your podcast.
Oh.
People if you have like a great, you know, sound system in your car, you're gonna grow. I promise I don't look like a woolly mammoth.
They'll deal with it. We have it's good like audio quality. They'll deal with it. But yeah, man. Shit, Sal, I lost my train of thought.
No, you're
for a
all right.
second. I'm sorry.
The woolly mammoth threw you off path.
Yeah, but you know, we're talking about honesty. What was it?
Self-realization, just being honest with oneself, you know, and then how it transitions into life. And then I was trying to tie it back into my core mission, which is dying, which is weird. But the legacy,
we're all gonna die.
Yeah, but how do you develop that skill set? And you got to be real with yourself, man. Like, if you're not going to be honest to yourself, like, how the fuck do you expect to live a life that you're proud of?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because so many people, it's easy to tell ourselves like these lies to make ourselves comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Right. Like anytime, like even when I work with clients, like I'll coach them, in health. We're so resistant to change. You know what I mean? Like that we don't want to put ourselves in something that we've ever done before. But that's something that you've obviously have constantly sought out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is like a clean segue or not, but it all goes back to your mentality. And one of the things like I've noticed about you, just being a creeper on the gram,
yeah,
is that like you're a fucking winner, dude. And like I like winners. Like I like extreme winners. Like I like Lance Armstrong. I like Tom Brady. Like, I love these guys. Like one of my favorite people in this whole city is Jesse Finney. Like he's a fucking winner.
He's a great dude.
I just like winners.
Yeah.
So like I've noticed that like with that mentality, it's almost like a double-edged sword. You know what I mean? So is that something that you kind of had to like grow through, like as you've gotten older? Because we've talked about like you're when you're younger, you're a different person,
right? And
your wife has helped you, and your team has helped you. Like you've just grown into a whole different human, right? So like when you're in the beginning, like and you had this very hard-nosed mentality, like how has that mentality evolved? Is probably the best question.
Yeah, no, and I winning is a drug.
Yeah.
And I'm highly competitive. And when you look at, first of all, it's the best compliment you could ever get. Like being a great dad, and the compliment you just gave me is like, that's like fucking things. I'm like, fuck yeah,
Dude.
But
it's true.
Yeah, and I look at like, what separates, do you love winning or do you hate losing? And I think there's two different people from this. Like my brother would give you the answer, he hates losing so fucking bad. And my argument would be is I love winning so much. And I think oftentimes most people never win. And so they don't understand to embrace the sacrifice for the reward. Yeah. And that goes for anything. That standing on top of that podium it's the world's greatest fucking drug. And understanding that the sacrifice that it takes to get to there is worth every single fucking ounce of missed opportunity along the ride.
Yeah.
And most people they've never given that sacrifice, and so they never get the reward of a win. And so they continually fail with 50% effort of really fucking buying into what it takes to be a winner.
Yeah.
And when you can adopt the mindset that you'll win at all costs, understanding it's all costs within self, you're kind of a fucking drug addict in a different way because you're willing to sacrifice fucking anything for the fucking win.
It's nothing like that high winning.
It's the best, dude.
Yeah.
And most people, they never achieve that true win. So they never truly go through the sacrifice to get there, and so they never get that taste.
Yeah, because sacrifice is a necessary part of it.
It's the key.
Like you miss time with family, you miss events.
Listen, man, when I was so I played high school baseball, and then I went to college, played college baseball, and drafted and played a little bit of professional baseball, and I went through that journey. And there's 8 or 9 years of my life that that's all. I was chasing the win.
Yeah.
All things off to the side. It was weddings, family. You name it. I'm not even existent. Didn't matter. I'm gonna go win.
Yeah. With baseball.
And that mentality parlayed into my professional career is like I understand it. Going back to is like I'm here to win.
Yeah.
Like I'm not here to just fucking play and sign in and fucking say, hey, I did it. I'm here to fucking win, and I'm willing to do whatever the fuck it takes to get there. And so building a team around that core value system, you lose a few guys along the ride, but what happens is you develop some fucking badass winners to fucking play that game, dude. And then you find yourself winning with winners.
Yeah.
Now you're in a new fucking level of drugs.
Yeah, dude, it's a good feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt a little feelings along the way, though.
It's a part of the process, though, man.
Part of the deal.
If there are winners, then there have to be losers.
I always say I broke a lot of hearts before I made one. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had to learn a lot. I fucked up a lot of relationships before I figured out how to have a successful one.
Yeah.
And sacrifice.
Yeah. Man, I know what my thought was earlier. It's not as relevant now, though, but I hate when that happens.
Hit it. It's all good.
It comes back to you.
Listen, one thing I've learned about listening to podcasts, like when you're on the ride, is everybody there's no polished, finished fucking product. Like the bounce around is how the brain works. You know what I mean?
So true.
Driving on the highway, you're like, oh, red truck. hey man, one time I had a red truck, you know?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about honesty earlier,
Yeah.
and like how you kind of came to that place. And I was like, dude, you know what it took for me to get to that place was like I got married whenever I was like 20 years old.
Yeah.
I had my son whenever I was young. Just started life very early. I bought into that whole, this is like what you're supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, whoa, I'm doing it before everybody. So I must be fucking winning. And, but like it took a lot, like that hard time in life, like going through that divorce where I had to learn how important honesty was. And not only like how I communicate to people, but also like just how I live my life, always living my truth, like no matter who it makes fucking happy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
That's
like,
your obligation to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the guilt or whatever the position that most people put themselves in is they're afraid of conflict.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is they'll sacrifice their selves, their wants, their needs, their life to avoid a little bit of conflict. What you realize, if you're honest with people, yeah, you might piss a few people off. But what happens is the rooted relationships that you have are so much deeper because of your ability to be honest with one another that, dude, you can get to a different level of relationship, not only with yourself, but with those people, and you can really start to mature and have like fucking good conversations because you can ask the weird questions and understand that you're going to get a weird answer, but you embrace that, right? Because you find yourself around like-minded people, honest people. People that'll likely piss you off, but you are going to piss them off, but you're okay with it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they avoid conflict and never fucking live a life because they get into the white picket fence. I'm going to drive a Ford Taurus and fucking live my life.
Yeah, and it's just that's
a slippery slope.
It's not a way to live, dude.
It's not, and unfortunately, most people do, and it goes back to the raising kids. It's a perpetual fucking cycle that happens. Is like, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
No, you're a fucking human. You have your own thoughts. You have your own wants, your own needs. And you know what? Yours might be different from mine. That's okay.
Right.
And you shouldn't shelter yours, and I'm sure shit not going to shelter mine. Like, I'm going to fucking get what I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And so understanding that, is it going to piss some people off? Yeah. Cool.
That's okay.
Well, I mean, so otherwise you're just going to go fucking live somebody else's lie?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that shit.
I've done that. It's miserable.
Yeah. I'm not doing that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the fact that you came out of it is fucking awesome. Because of the freedom that happens on the backside, dude, that's what your life is supposed to be.
Yeah, and you quickly realize that you can truly create whatever life it is that you want to create.
Anything you want.
Yeah.
Like literally anything you want.
Yeah.
But you have to be true to self.
Right, and you have to have the belief. Now, I heard you say on, I think maybe you're talking to Ben, like whenever you were, when you were playing baseball, like you didn't really have the belief that you're actually going to go to the all the way through the whole system and make it to the majors. Right, and then you have that accident, and then now you're like the rest of us, for lack of a better way of saying it, right? Like you're
overnight.
Yeah, you're selling copiers. Like, what was that transition like in your mind, dude? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think to paint the picture for most people. So what happens? I was playing professional baseball in Cardinal organization. I slid into home plate or had a collision at home plate. I broke my leg. I got released. Went back into normal life. But
legs flopping.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Wherewithal to get back to home.
Pretty good video. That's how I always say, it's street cred when we start talking. But one thing that I'm very, very, very thankful for that baseball taught me, and it taught me a lot of things. I always say everything I learned about leadership I learned in a locker room. But when I got drafted, my goals were not big enough, and this is how I know about setting goals and really going after them is, I never really, truly, genuinely believed that I'd be playing at Busch Stadium. I kind of wanted it, but I always saw myself as like a minor league baseball player. And so when I got there, I didn't pay baseball the respect that it commanded in order to get to the top level. I didn't deserve it. And I always had that kind of thought in the back of my brain. And as I'm older, I can look back and with a great deal of honesty understand, like, okay, did you really give it hell or not?
Yeah.
And the truth is, no, I didn't. I gave it hell, kind of, and what it allowed me to do is understand, like, if I'm going to live a successful life, like, I have to believe first. Like, I have to believe I belong, and I have to be willing to pay the price in order to get there. And it helped me parlay into life. Okay, what did I fuck up here in baseball that kept me from getting to where I wanted to be? Because I was talented enough. I wasn't the most talented guy, but I was talented enough to spend a little bit of time doing that. But I didn't pay baseball what it deserved to get there.
Right.
And I didn't have it between my ears what it took to get there. And so I've learned in the professional setting, okay, I have to believe in the mission. It's got to be bigger than myself. The goal has to be realistic. and I got to be willing to fucking pay the price for it. And when you start thinking about how does that progress, breaking my leg in baseball was one of the greatest gifts that was ever given to me, because it was the harsh realization of reality, the fucking drink that I needed.
Yeah.
In order to fucking teach me the lesson to be successful in life. And I'm forever thankful for that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, baseball would have only been like a very short time of your life, right? So does that kind of give you like the perspective? It's like, man, like that would have been really fucking cool, but now I have the lesson to do all this other great shit that you're doing.
Dude, there's not one of those. There's not. I don't regret that one fucking iota.
Yeah.
Because the life that I live now is the best life that I could ever imagine living. Yeah. And it's the journey that it took for me to get lonely, for me to battle myself, for me to break down, for me to come back. And as weird as it sounds, like First Phorm's kind of like my comeback story.
Yeah.
And so it allows me to really understand what it takes to win. We're still there. Right now, we have a lot more to pay. You know what I mean? And I have a lot more dues to pay, and I got a lot more shit that we got to grind through and go through and get through. But I fucking believe in what we're doing.
Right.
And I wouldn't trade the life that I have now for the life that could have been. Never in a million fucking years.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is, so you took all the lessons that you learned from baseball, right? And then that hard lesson there at the end, you parlay that into a very successful sales career, right? I mean, it started off kind of, I imagine, a little rocky, selling the copiers. I've gone door to door, and like I've sold cable.
Yeah.
And, like I've done that hustle.
Oh, yeah.
Like you learn a lot of cool shit. Like it's not fun.
Oh yeah.
But like you learn those fucking lessons. And then I remember, so in 2010 is whenever I worked. So for the listeners, like I worked at Supplement Superstores from 2009 2010. And I remember it was a Sunday whenever you came to a meeting, and Andy introduced you as far as like, this is my brother Sal. He's one of the best fucking salesmen in the country for J&J.
Yeah. And
like, so you're crushing it there. And then you took this huge leap of faith to like come into First Phorm and to build this.
Oh yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Dude, like what was that transition like for you? I mean,
Well,
you took a huge leap of faith, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think, you have to live a life of purpose.
Yeah.
And, I was successful in sales, but my gift is people. Like I understand my gift. I'm not very smart. I'm not highly intelligent. My gift is people and understanding human emotion.
Yeah.
And so I was naturally good at sales because I could talk to people. I'm not afraid of people.
Right.
They don't intimidate me. I'm not, we put pants on. I wear shoes. You don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
We all live the same shit. And so, when I was at J&J, Andrew and Chris had a really cool thing going, and I knew I had more in the tank.
Yeah.
I was kind of living the corporate Johnny lifestyle, if you will, and I was doing well, but it wasn't fulfilling in that sense. And that's the kind of the thing. And I think most people chase money. I'm not a money chaser. I'm a fulfillment chaser, and understanding that if I'm the best at what I do, the money comes. And so I was making a lot of money at the time. I was young. I was financially doing really well. And it was unfulfilling. Like I did love what I do. The company I worked for was like one of the greatest companies in all of America in that sense, right? Like I understood, like I was like living the dream.
Yeah.
I'm in my 20s making mid six figures, like fucking life is great. But it wasn't, and I wasn't like I was like, fuck my life, that type of thing. It was that this opportunity was speaking to me from the core level. I was like, I think I should go do this,
Yeah.
Like, and everybody else thought I was fucking crazy.
I bet.
But, Chris, Andrew, and I sat down, and I believed in what they had going on, and they had a cool thing happening, and I wanted to be a part of it, and I knew I could help. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I figured it all, and I was just talking about this with somebody, like, if it fails, it fails. It's all part of my story, what it should be.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I'm going to give it fucking hell. You know what I mean? And we went out and we went after it, and, it hasn't always been fucking sunshine and rainbows, and, we fight and argue and, all that type of shit.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, like, from a fulfillment standpoint, like, I fucking love what I do.
Right.
I love helping people. Like, that's my fucking, what God put me here for that.
Yeah.
And I have that gift, and right now, like, am I financially successful? Yes. but I'm fulfilled from the inside out, understanding that like what I'm doing is leaving this place a better place than I found it. And I have direct control over the message that I can give those people and the leadership that I can go from the front. It makes me feel fucking good about waking up every day and fucking busting my ass on what I'm going to leave this place. And so, and that goes for my guys and girls here, that goes for our customers, that goes for my kids, my wife, you know, and I feel good about who I am. Is it hard? Fuck yeah, it's hard. It's supposed to be hard, you know? And I think from the outside, you know, people want to, oh, well, you got lucky. No, motherfucker. Like, no. Yeah. It's fucking hard.
That was not luck.
No. But I had to get uncomfortable, scary, making that jump. You know, I took a 60% pay cut, you know, which everybody thinks you're fucking nuts.
Right.
And I said, let's go. Let's fucking put my face in water. Let's start swimming.
Yeah,
you know?
Because you're living the cushy lifestyle.
And it was time to get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Because during those early days now, like, you were kind of only putting in like a handful of hours, and like you were working construction a little bit, right? Until you're able to like put in more hours.
Dude, we did a lot of shit. Like whatever. So
by any means necessary.
That's right. I mean, literally, I was pouring concrete, like bartended, like whatever the fuck I had to do to make it work. While we were bridging the gap, we made work.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's, you know, Andrew and I were raised that way. You
right.
know, my dad's still very much that way, and I'm still that way right now. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to figure it out. Like, if I got to go bartend, like I'll go. I'm not too pride, or I don't have too much pride to like. I'll go do whatever fuck I got to do.
Right.
You know, and I wasn't that journey doesn't scare me now. You know what I'm saying? Like if the FDA came in and said no longer supplementation, I'm fine. Like I'm gonna we'll take all these guys and we'll start selling fucking tires. Like, you know what I mean? I'm ready for the challenge.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man, I'm glad that part of my life is over.
I bet.
However, you know, it's nice to see on this side. All the people who doubted that move, I know who those people are.
Yeah.
And I know who the people who supported that move are as well. And I make sure that I hold one closer to me and I keep one further away, you know, because when you're going down and paving your own path, you know, very few people are going to support that because it makes them uncomfortable. You know, if you're doing something different than them, it makes them uncomfortable.
It really does.
And it makes you think, like, are they supporting you or are they kind of hoping you fail?
Yeah.
And you know, I think there's a lot of people at that time that probably wanted me to fail. And that goes back to that winning mentality. Now my job's like give them the hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah.
While I flip them the fucking bird.
Yeah, dude. I mean, because failure is an option, but it isn't. You know what I mean? Like it just isn't.
No.
And
you don't fail, you trip.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck back up and keep moving.
Keep it moving.
That's right.
Now, you developed that mentality at a very young age, I would guess, and from just like hearing the stories of, you know, you guys hurt somebody or you score a goal, like you get a toy.
Kill, yeah.
Who got the most toys?
Oh, I always scored the goals. Some things never change.
Yeah.
Andrew's been dude. You know what's funny is like Andrew and I are black and white. Like,
yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that. You know, like he likes tall blondes. I like short brunettes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He loves Lamborghini. I love Ferrari. Like now he loves Ferrari, but that's a different story, which is a great story. But you know, like we're very uniquely different. However, very similar in thought process. Like, but we will go two different ways to get to the same destination.
Yeah.
You know. Andrew was a very much put your head down. I'm going to run through that hole, like hit all those kids. Like he would run all the kids over.
Okay.
I was more of a little bit like, you know, like I could probably kick the ball off that glass over there and run over there and pick the ball back up and avoid all these people and then go score the goal. He's like, I'm just going to run these motherfuckers over.
You're a little bit more creative.
I'm a finesse type person in that sense.
Yeah.
It comes across in our personalities. You know, you get us in a room like he's the bear and, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm me, I guess, in that sense. But, you know, we have the same core value structure that, like, whatever the fuck we got to do to put that ball in the back of that fucking net, like, if you're in our way, then you're going to get fucking run over.
Yeah.
You know? And
that's okay.
But that was fun. You know, we had a lot of fun. We still get into it a little bit here and there.
Yeah, well, from what I heard with you guys, like, sometimes getting into it, like, fighting and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so I hugged Andy last time I was here, and I was like, I feel really small. And, like, I feel very capable of handling myself, but he made me feel small. And
he's a big motherfucker.
And then I shook your hand. I was looking at you. I'm like, oh, well, Sal's not, like, you're not, like, that big. But then, like, I heard on an interview you said you're, like, 240. I'm like, fuck. And now I'm looking at you. I'm like, yeah, you are really big. I was just thinking about you two fighting. Yeah. Long story short. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we got after it. We went through a wall about a year ago now. We literally hit the wall so hard we knocked the picture off the other wall in the other office. And
it's okay, though.
It was loud. It was aggressive. They always say it was like two silverbacks getting after it, but I can tell you, it scared the fuck out of everybody in our office because they didn't know what was going on in my office.
Yeah, well, that's why you guys have such a unique like culture here, right? I mean, it's not this, we're tiptoeing around and.
Dude, life's gonna punch you in the fucking mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think the more conditioned you are to understanding that that's how life really is,
yeah,
the better you can handle those situations. And it kind of goes back to I'm not afraid of confrontation.
Yeah.
It was like, I wrestled when I was younger. Like, when I got to college, like, still to this day, I tell people all the time, like, I am just as likely to shake your hand as I am to punch you in the fucking mouth. Like, I'm not afraid of it. Punch it. It hurts, but it doesn't hurt that bad.
Yeah,
like,
you'll be fine. We'll probably be friends afterwards.
Yeah, like, he's a big motherfucker, but, like, I got to still do it. If I got to do it, like, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Fuck, I've been punched in the mouth a lot of times.
Yeah.
It hurts kind of.
It's not that bad.
It's not.
It could be totally worse.
Especially when you're heated. Like, you don't even feel it.
Yeah. I just need to teach you jiu-jitsu.
So some of my guys are rolling now. And I like that. I think it will be in my near future.
Hey, man. Yeah.
I think like I really do because I wrestled. I have a wrestling background.
Yeah.
And I look at all these guys going, and so I went to triathlon. And I kind of I checked that box. I still love it.
Yeah.
And then I see as soon as time permits, I would love it.
Yeah. Well, you guys get to the new facility, man. You can just
put a mat in,
throw some mats in there, and just have a corporate, first form.
I would love nothing
program.
more than to like, all right, let's settle this argument.
Yeah.
Let's go to the mat.
It's a good way to settle it, dude.
It's the only way.
Yeah.
But I would so I could see myself transitioning in at some point in time. I need a little bit more time. My day doesn't really allow for it right now.
Right. Yeah. It's just about being able to fit in your schedule.
I would fucking love to do it.
I think you'd like jiu-jitsu.
I would fucking love to do it.
It's like an ever-evolving puzzle.
Yeah. Well, it's chess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game. The whole
human
time.
Chess.
Yeah. Like, you got to keep your guard in tight. And you fucking get open, you got to find the hole.
Right. Yeah, man. Create angles, use leverage.
That's right. I mean, it's literally, it is like, it's the human version of chess.
It really is. Yeah, I love it. I've been doing it for like a decade, so it's my shit. I offered to teach Andy, but he's like, yeah. So we'll get you the one up on it.
I would listen, like that's the shit though that I love because like you can never be. I have a huge ego, but I'm also not afraid to check the ego.
Yeah.
And I think when I say a huge ego, it's the stroke of confidence and understanding that like I'm not afraid of failing.
Yeah.
Like I've understood the core common fact that. Like the people who fail the most, they also win the most because they're playing the most.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're
absolutely.
in the games the most. And if you're always afraid to fail, like how the fuck are you ever gonna win?
Oh, dude, you won't win. Ever.
You won't. You're gonna have 0 wins because you have 0 attempts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You don't know how good it feels to win unless you fail.
Yeah, I forget the statistic offhand, but I did it in a meeting a couple of years ago. But Michael Jordan has something. I mean, it's silly. It's like he has like 30,000 failed 3-point attempts. You know what I mean? Like 30 fucking thousand. Like that's more. I mean, think about how many shot opportunities you got to have to miss 30,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And most people just don't take those shots.
Yeah.
MJ's like, fuck it, give me the rock. Like I'm ready to throw. Like if somebody's gonna fuck it up, I'm gonna fuck it up.
Yeah.
But when you're in that position constantly, like you're gonna become better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're failing.
And people don't remember the failures.
Fuck no. They remember the shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the game. Like,
yeah.
And that's the win.
Exactly.
And that's what the difference is between winners and losers. Like when you can check your ego and get, I mean, I literally put this on my social last night. Like there are a lot of people more talented. They got a lot more skill, gifted with a lot more things. They're just afraid to dance.
Yeah.
And like the dude who gets to take the chick home at the end of the night is the guy who fucking gets out on the dance floor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you be a real good looking dude in the corner, but the guy that's out on the dance floor having fun, the chick likes that.
That's why you see ugly dudes with a whole bunch of hot chicks all the time.
That's what I'm saying, dude. If you can get down on the dance floor, because you know what? Like, everybody likes to have fun. Get vulnerable. It's okay. It's part of life.
Yep.
And, if you can check your ego and get on that dance floor of life, you'll have some fun.
100%, man. Dude, that's a solid lesson to end on. I want to be respectful of your time.
Oh, you're good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. So, hey, dude, thank you so much for taking this time.
I appreciate you.
I know you're pretty much just on the Instagram. So just tell folks how they can check out, First Phorm, and if they wanted to follow you, like how can people, get in touch with Sal?
I think, if I could do a shameless plug here, that'd be great.
Whatever you want, man. This is your time right here.
For any of you listeners who are struggling with life in the sense of, understanding that maybe you're not the best physical self that you want to be and you need help. Like our company is designed around helping people change their lives. And it doesn't cost you anything. We're here to help. And I think that's what, when you talk about when I leave the earth, like understanding that people need help. Our job is to give them the game plan and the roadmap in order to get there. And if you're struggling with yourself, your physical self, or even your mental self, I think a lot of that strength and self-earned confidence comes through the physical journey. And I would love to have the opportunity to help you do that. It doesn't cost you anything. And our company's at Phorm on Instagram. That's the number 1ST, PHORM, or at firstform.com.
Right.
And, give us an opportunity to help you down that journey. I would love that opportunity. From a personal standpoint, I'm at Mr. Frisella. It was like when Instagram first started, you don't know what to fucking make your name.
Right.
And now I can't get Sal Frisella because somebody has it.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know that motherfucker. But at Mr. Frisella on Instagram, if you love fitness, family, business, that's kind of like my jam. Those are my three. I tell people all the time, you can't be the master of all trades because you end up being the jack of none.
Right.
So my three things are fitness, family, and business.
Right on.
So if you appreciate that, then I might be your guy.
Yeah. And I'd be remiss, actually. I almost skipped it, but you have the not-for-profit, the 30 for the kids. Yeah, man. That's just such a powerful thing that you're doing. It's such a good movement.
Yeah, you need another 30 minutes? I'll give you on it.
Dude, well, let's just, I don't want to take up all your time.
No, you're good. I'll talk about that all day.
Yeah, if you don't mind talking about it, because, dude, it's so powerful, and the things that you're fucking doing for these kids, man, and it's helping people, here stateside, and they're doing a great thing for the kids, and it's just fucking awesome. So if you could talk about that a little bit.
Dude, I had the opportunity to go to Haiti 2 years ago, and I always say that God gave me this platform, and it's my opportunity or obligation to make sure that I maximize what He gave me, and my gift is people, and I know that. And when I went to Haiti, a piece of my heart will forever and always be in Haiti, because as much as we struggle on a day-to-day basis, the amount of struggle that those kids go through in Haiti is 50x of what we deal with, or what we think we deal with on a daily basis. And when I got back from Haiti, I made a pledge to myself that I would help these kids. I knew, I don't know how I was going to do it. I couldn't figure it out at the time, but I'm going to help these kids live a better life. And they're God's children, no different than my children. And, we have an unbelievable community here at Phorm. And I thought, man, if we could merge fitness for a good cause, everybody can win. And so we started 30 for the kids. And 30 for the kids, the foundation of it is you can do 30 minutes of fitness for 30 days. Okay. And you, as a collective group, you buy in. It costs you $30. And on the honor system, if you miss a day along the 30 for the kids journey, you pay $5, just a small nominal penalty, but it's on the honor system, right? Keeping you accountable to the journey, but doing it for the kids. And we were able to create these 5 exercises that people would do for 30 minutes over the course of 30 days and for $30. And we were able to raise, the first time we raised about $55,000, and the first one we put in the next 50 to take care of the kids of Haiti, which is 47 children. Of an orphanage, food, water, shelter, medical attention, Bible education, and make sure that we took care of those kids. And I started to really tap into the side of my life, what am I here to do? And, I think about those kids of Haiti, and there's kids like that all over the world, that our obligation to life is to make sure that, we help other people in their lives. And our struggle that we make up in our head is not a struggle that they struggle with. They struggle with basic human needs, clean water and medical attention. They don't have an education because there's no system. Those kids don't have shoes. And they would give you, when you're walking down the street, they might only get one meal every other day, and they would give it to you, and they're happy. And then it started really kind of festering into my brain, that I have to do more. And so we started to do these 30 for the Kids campaigns, and it's really about building the community around the orphanage for these kids of Haiti, and building an ecosystem that, we can't help every kid across the world right now, but if we can teach these kids how to produce product and educate them and teach them, we can build a better community that they can live in and that their kids can live in, and it's a sustainable society. And, and our job is, as leaders, and our opportunity and obligation is to go help these kids. And we've used it in Haiti, and we've used it also here in St. Louis. And a friend of mine, Kyle McCullen, owns Brace for Impact, who is an ex-Cardinal player. I played with him. That's how Kyle and I met. And he's opened my eyes to, helping these kids and really giving us an avenue to make sure that, that the same problems that exist in Haiti actually exist in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And I think we're too numb to the media to really understand that there are kids who are starving in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
There are kids who don't have education in our backyard. They don't have medical attention. And, I'm going to do my fucking best to fix that. Now, we can't cure it all. It's not going to happen overnight. But I think when you can merge what it is that we do, fitness, with some functionality in a sense of how can you actually implement these funds for good, I want to change kids, because if we can change them young, as they grow and adapt, we can start to create change in a society.
Yeah.
And so we're really having a local push and a push in Haiti, and the idea is that we can utilize 30 for the kids. Fitness is good for everybody, and with fitness, the kids can win. And so that's 30 for the kids has been a really good spiritual thing for me. And no matter the amount of money that we ever give those people, it'll never even touch the iceberg for what they've done for me as a fundamental level for teaching me what life's really about.
Yeah, essentially changing your life.
Completely.
Yeah, that's just so powerful, because I mean, like you said, it's just a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
that's what life should be about.
Right.
A lot of people fuck business deals up because they're so greedy. And really a good business deal is like, when it's good for you, it's good for me, and it's good for the customer. Yeah. And this deal for me, I always thought, and I always think about that in every business deal. Like, I never try to get every penny out of it. It's like, what is the best for everybody here? And when you look at 30 for the kids, it's good for the person who's doing the work. It's good for the community. It's good for the kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so it's a great deal. And I'm really trying to make a push towards corporate wellness, getting some of the bigger companies on board, getting tens of thousands of people, and we really create some change when we start getting some funds driven.
Right. And then for the people, they can even do like Amazon Smile and help contribute
Amazon
in that
Smile,
regard.
yes.
Right? So
We are an Amazon Smile affiliated account. So if you shop on Amazon and you're looking for a charity, so most people don't know Amazon Smile exists. If you make your homepage, the landing page for Amazon Smile, you can choose 30 for the kids, and a portion of all the proceeds that you buy, we will get a residual funds for the purchase that you make. I mean, hell, just myself, I gave like $36 to 30 for the kids just in the last 6 months. So
yeah, just
I'll take it.
Everyday shopping. Dude.
That's right.
It'd be really cool. There's an app called Charity Miles, and it's just it tracks your cardio, whether you go walking or running or whatever the case may be, and you get to pick a charity that you contribute to through that. So, like, for example, it'll be like, this training session is sponsored by like Johnson & Johnson, and we're going to give to speaking, like, Autism Speaks on your behalf for this training session. It'd be really cool if we could figure out a way to get like 30 for the kids, like, on that app.
That'd be, I'm on it.
Yeah, dude. It's like,
I didn't know about it, but I'm on it.
I'll send you the app information. It's pretty fucking cool. I use it a lot. So, but dude, thank you so much for that, because it's just such a cool organization. And
I
you're
appreciate
just doing
it.
a lot of good.
I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to speak about it.
Yes, I would have hated myself if I fucking
no,
if we
dude,
didn't talk
that's
about
my
that.
jam, man. You're like, if you ever see me out in public, start talking about fucking 30 for the kids. I'll stop whatever I'm doing. I'll start running over there.
Right on, cool. Well, hey, Sal, thanks again, man. I really appreciate
you,
it.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a great podcast. Everybody's gonna get value out of this for sure.
Awesome.
So, hey, everybody, thanks. Until next time.